players will be honored later today at the 2025 Ballon d'Or in Paris. Golazo Network has you covered from start to finish as awards for Best Footballer, Best Goalkeeper, and Young Player of the Year will be handed out on the men's and women's side. It all begins with red carpet coverage at 2 p.m. Eastern with our guy Guillem Balagué speaking with the biggest names in football. Then that's followed by the ceremony at 3 p.m., which will feature CBS Sports' own Kate Scott as host. Now, I want to see what the talent here at the desk is thinking heading into today, because it's a day that we've had circled on the calendar for a while. Cupo, kick things off for us.
Is anyone really going to argue with me over Dembélé? Like, do I even need to explain that one? He's literally emerged as one of the most decisive attackers in Europe. He hit consistent fitness, form, numbers. Man looked great, okay? That's my number one pick. Beyond that, Raphinha, big game output across regular season play as well as in Champions League. He came up big with crucial goals and assists when they absolutely needed them. Lamine Yamal, come on, like the kid is absolutely electric. He's just fun to watch. Showed maturity that I haven't seen in players of his age in quite some time. Due, I know JayDee giving me some heat for all of my very.
You got half the PSG. You're basically might as well. You're only missing literally. You might as well put Hakimi in here. Who else are we missing from this list?
I'm not in the pocket of PSG, I promise. But
Neves.
He was a little bit of my wild card pick, so I will say that. Mo Salah, Mr. Consistency, and I also like to call him Mr. Petty, because as that contract length extension just kept on riding out, he just kept being more productive. Beyond that, I think the only outliers that I really threw in there were Gigi Donnarumma, because his performance in Champions League was outstanding, and then, of course, a tip of the cap to El Toro Lautaro Martinez.
JayDee, let's see how different yours looks.
Cupo's gonna hate me. Cupo's gonna hate me. I squeezed up some of the goal scorers from across Europe. I mean, as Cupo has said, Dembélé speaks for himself, and I think is the front runner, rightfully so. Lamine Yamal, I thought had advanced so much last year in terms of overall. I mean, Mo Salah, I thought what he did in the Premier League domestically was sensational. I mean, the only player that I've seen in a long while flirt with being 20 and 20 in terms of 20 goals and 20 assists. He didn't quite get there with the assists, but doesn't count out in terms of what he did overall. When you start going down the list, I mean, Kylian Mbappe, I mean, talk about a debut season, speaks for itself in terms of what he did for Real Madrid. And sometimes I know we can focus so much on the trophies, but I also look at the output and the consistency. When you look down the list, Raphinha, I thought started the season fantastic and then started to tail off towards the end. I mean, the kudos to the two guys that's playing down in Bayern Munich, because Harry Kane and Michael Olise, I thought were both sensational. Donnarumma, of course, gets a nod. And Kvaratskhelia, if he's not in your top 10, you didn't watch world football last year, because I thought his impact from when he signed from Napoli all the way through to Paris was nothing short of sensational. I thought he was the actual tip over the iceberg if you watched the way that Luis Enrique was able to unlock him. So defo deserves a top 10 nod.
Nate, let's see how yours differs from
Evidently, I didn't watch any world football, because I
took my shots. I know what I was doing.
I actually do think he was a tremendous player, but I'm going for the full body of work for the course of the year here. Yes, JayDee, you had a problem with me having Mbappe all the way down at number 8. I think I was a little generous putting him on there, because everybody else, I believe, on that list got a trophy, a major trophy, and I think that's a huge part of the conversation we're having. That's why we all have Dembélé at the top, because of what Paris Saint-Germain were as a side. If there's a hot take there for me, Salah number 2. I don't think that many people have him that high. For me, you have the kind of year he had. Goals and assist leader in the best league in the world, week in, week out, producing the way that he did and winning that trophy. I've got him number 2. Harry Kane finally winning a trophy and producing the way that he did. Puts him on there. Hot take for me, I'm just standing up for some midfielders that don't get the goals and assists, because you told me earlier, JayDee, lazy people talk about goals and assists and nothing else. Vitinha and Pedri, tell me they're not 2 of the best players in the world. They run the show for 2 of the best teams in the world, so I put them on there.
Can't argue with that.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, at CBS, nobody has you as a winner. Nate had you as 5th. But please, as you promised, talk to me in the red carpet later. Sorry. Lamine! Well, let's start with the day. Normally, on this Monday, we'll be walk around the Seine and have some lunch somewhere. and talk to people that you find in the streets about the Ballon d'Or, because it's a talking point, certainly. It's a big day in the football calendar. Instead, BA lost my luggage and spent 3 hours in a taxi. But never mind, my look will change after that, I think. I got my luggage back with my bow tie and velvet jacket, and kind of still debate now about the Ballon d'Or, because don't you feel that it has become a massive thing? In fact, the magic word for everybody to speed up their action so I can get my luggage back was Ballon d'Or. I didn't say what my role was in it, but certainly, Ballon d'Or, oh, yes, it will help you. And they don't know that I'm only going to be in the red carpet. But certainly is one of those nights that now players absolutely adore. I'm saying now because in the past there was a bit of debate, and the certain perhaps the Modric's of this world, maybe, even though he won it, they may not feel that it was a big thing for their careers, but in any case, it absolutely is. And now you've got clubs calling me saying, can we have our players in the red carpet talking to you, CBS talking to you? It's a big day for them. The PRs, their brands, they all work around a day like this. I have done it before. I've been in red carpets before with superstars, as you can see. And I know that they will come relaxed. They will come with the intention of talking, hopefully. I'll stop as many as I can, and then we'll hear where they will leave the Ballon d'Or if they win it, which part of the room of the house.
Guillem, I was about to ask you whether or not there was going to be drama this year, but it sounds like you've been through enough drama already. So I just want to know, in terms of the award show, what do you think about the dramatics of it? Do you think there will be as much, I don't know, love and hip-hop energy as there was last year?
Yes, and I tell you what, it's not just the Ballon d'Or, the best, the FIFA best, for instance, or the Players Awards that was recently done as well in Manchester, in England. They have so much glamour because they feel that spectacle is part of the show these days. And no more than Lamine think that way. Everybody of that generation feel that being on television, wearing their lovely clothes, and winning these trophies is certainly something that they aim for. Lamine Yamal talks about winning more than one anyway. Dembélé is an interesting process that he's gone through, of course, from it seemed like he's never going to make it to the projected talent that he had, but actually he's reaching there. And in the women's, but also in the men's, it's a little bit of mystery what could happen. In the past, the France Football, the organizers, now alongside UEFA, will have secret interviews with the winners, which were never fully secret. By now, we will know who'd won it. In fact, last season, of course, Real Madrid were told that Vinicius was not going to win it, so decided not to travel. As you mentioned already, they will not travel this season. But there is a big of mystery about who's going to win it this year. I think it's between Dembélé and Lamine Yamal. I do believe those are the two ones. And in the case of the women's, it's again confusing because Mariona Caldentay has done very well with Arsenal, quite well with Spain. Alessia Russo, both with team and with the nation side. So, and of course, you've got Alexia Putellas, and perhaps the best player in the world has been for a while in Aitana Bonmatí. So it's not clear who's going to win it, but they will all be there, including Dembélé, even though his team PSG are actually playing in Marseille tonight.
Look, there's this whole situation with PSG playing a match now today on the same day. Cupo's got half the squad, there. Is anybody from PSG going to be able to be at the actual presentation today? What's going to happen there?
So Dembélé, João Neves, and Desiré Doué, they're injured. They were out of the squad anyway. And you know what? They would have been injured anyway. Certainly Dembélé. Because quite clearly it's a big thing for PSG. So much so that they asked the league to play the game against Marseille that was cancelled yesterday because of the weather to be played this afternoon. And that has got a backlash in the French media. What are you saying? That the Ballon d'Or is bigger than the league? And not just the league, the Classic, the game against Marseille, perhaps the biggest, no doubt the biggest game in the league. It's smaller than Ballon d'Or. But PSG wanted as many people there as possible, especially Luis Enrique, for instance, who's going to win, I think, the Coach of the Year. Dembélé, main candidate to win the Ballon d'Or for the men's. And in the case of the Copa, the young player of the year, the Serie is a good candidate, even though Lamine Yamal is still there too and won it last year. So they want to be there. And the three of them, with João Neves also nominated to Ballon d'Or and to Copa, they will certainly be in Paris.
Which award are you particularly most excited about, Guillem? Which is going to be the standout that we all should be really watching?
Both the Ballon d'Ors, the men's and the women's, is very, very exciting for many reasons. It could be the fifth consecutive year that a Spaniard wins it, for instance, if it's Mariona Caldentay, the best goal scorer, the best player of the league last season, but also runners-up in the Champions League, in the European Championships, and won the Champions League with Arsenal. So it could be her or Alessia Russo. Let's see. As I said, there is a feeling of Oscar about it. We just don't know. They don't know either. And in the case of the men's, imagine for a second that 18-year-old Lamine Yamal wins it. He'll be the youngest ever player to win it. He started a new era, new profile of a player, where it's not so much about the quiet humility of Leo Messi, who was talking about, I win it because of the team, or the narcissism, if you like, of Cristiano Ronaldo. Lamine Yamal is very aware of what he does. He actually thinks he can win many, as I said earlier. So to win the first one will be historic. But Dembélé perhaps deserves it more because remember the things that make you win it. One, individual performances, especially in big games. Two, the collective awards. Three, fair play. And there is a fourth that nobody talks about that is not written in the rules, but it's to do with the either legacy or the fact that it's not just, as we say, flower of a day. So it's not a player that has a really good season and that's it, but has got more to him either in the past or in the future. So, yeah, it's just the fact that we don't know what's going to happen makes it quite exciting.
Guillem, one thing you did not bring up there is numbers. And I think in the United States, sports fans look at statistics all the time, maybe too much more than watching the match themselves. When I watch a Barcelona match, I feel like Lamine Yamal is the most dynamic, problematic player for the other team to deal with. But when you look at the numbers, Raphinha had a better year, goals and assists. Do you think that comes into play? How much does that factor in? You really think Lamine Yamal, even though he didn't put up the same numbers as some of these other players, could take home this trophy?
It's a good point, and we don't have one single answer. We've got 100 different answers. These are 100 journalists that, after the selection of 30 by French Football, 30 candidates, then they have to choose and give points. And they don't know each other. There is no conspiracies here. And they all think completely different about the game, I'm pretty sure. So we kind of assume there's going to be one single way of giving those points. But in terms of stats, if it's down to stats, Mo Salah should win it. Mm-hmm. There is no other player in Europe that actually has had more contributions to goals between assists and goals scored than him. But there is these other things, these other factors. One thing that I think is crucial, and I'll describe it through my own experience. What Lamine Yamal made me feel last year, nobody in 10 years or more had made me feel. And I'm talking about games, moments, but particularly in a big game, semi-finals against Inter Milan in Barcelona. The first 45 minutes, I was sitting in the first row where he was attacking. So I could see more or less the players, same eyes as him, more or less. And he was surrounded by players. And yet those 45 minutes, his impact was incredible. 4 times I stood up and clapped. I'm an Espanyol fan. I'm not even a Barcelona fan. But I could see that what was happening there was magic. And I'm sure that has got an influence. You're right in Raphinha. Perhaps he won't be the runner-up if Dembélé wins it. It will be Lamine, even though Raphinha has got better numbers. But Lamine will push up because of that effect that has had on all of us. I'm pretty sure the 4 of you have felt exactly the same.
Guillem, I don't want to hear this in between the lines, sitting on the fence. I know world-class journalists when I see one. Give me a name. Who are you giving your ballot to?
He's got them all.
I know you're sitting on the fence right now. I know you got to keep professional integrity. You're going to see everybody on the red carpet, but don't worry about it. They won't see it till later. Give me a name.
I would have given 15 points to Lamine Yamal, 12 points to Dembélé, 10 points to Raphinha. Those will be my top 3. And if you want the women's,
yes, I do.
I would have given the points, the main points, to Mariona Caldentay.
Perfect. No
followed
notes.
by Alessia Russo, and then Alexia Putellas.
Enjoy the red carpet. Guillem's going to be part of the big Ballon d'Or ceremony tonight as the world's best soccer players are honored later today. The 2025 Ballon d'Or in Paris, Golazo Network. We've got you covered from start to finish as awards for best footballer, best goalkeeper, and young player of the year will be handed out on the men's and women's side. It all starts with the red carpet coverage at 2 p.m. Eastern with Guillem speaking with the biggest names in football, followed by the ceremony at 3 p.m., which will feature our own Kate Scott as host.